The name of singer Leonardo, one of the biggest figures in Brazilian country music, was included on a dirty list of employers accused of subjecting workers to conditions akin to slavery. This list, updated periodically by the federal government, aims to expose companies and individuals who have been definitively convicted of serious labor violations, including the practice of degrading work conditions. Leonardo's inclusion on the list occurred in August when 176 new names were added. The reason for Leonardo's inclusion was a labor inspection conducted in November 2022 at Fazenda Talimã, a property owned by the singer in Jussara, Goiás. During the inspection, 6 people, including a 17-year-old teenager, were found working in what were described as degrading conditions. These workers were subjected to situations violating fundamental human and labor rights, such as lack of access to proper sanitary facilities, exposure to unsafe working conditions, and the absence of minimum standards of dignity and respect for health. The context of slavery, like labor in Brazil. In Brazil, labor akin to slavery is characterized by extreme worker exploitation, including exhausting work hours, debt bondage, degrading conditions, and forced labor. According to the Brazilian Penal Code, such practices are considered severe violations of human rights. Over the years, Brazil has combated this issue through strict inspections, awareness campaigns, and the dirty list, one of the most powerful tools to hold employers accountable for such practices. Leonardo's inclusion on the list sparked widespread attention, not only because of his fame, but also because it highlighted the complexity of the issue in rural areas. Agribusiness in Brazil is one of the main sources of employment in regions like Goiás, and the vast expanse of properties, often leased or managed by third parties, makes it difficult for owners to directly monitor labor conditions. Leonardo's defense. After his inclusion on the list, Leonardo's public relations team issued a statement defending the singer. According to the statement, the area of the farm where the irregularities were found was leased to another individual responsible for soybean cultivation, and Leonardo had no knowledge of the illegal practices taking place. Additionally, the team stated that Leonardo had already defended himself in the legal process initiated by the Ministry of Labor, reiterating his good faith and affirming that he was not directly involved in managing the area where the violations occurred. However, Brazilian labor laws impose joint responsibility on the landowner, even in cases of leased land. This means that regardless of who manages the property, the landowner can still be held accountable for the working conditions on the land. This situation raises broader questions about the responsibility of property owners to ensure that leaseholders comply with all labor obligations and maintain proper working conditions. Impact on image and repercussions of the dirty list. For public figures like Leonardo, being included on such a list can have significant consequences for their public image and relationships with sponsors and fans. The dirty list serves not only as a legal punishment, but also as public exposure, impacting the reputations of individuals and companies listed. Moreover, those on the list face restrictions, such as being unable to secure financing from public banks and entering partnerships with companies adhering to social responsibility policies. In Brazil, the dirty list for slave labor has been an essential tool in the fight against labor exploitation. Created in 2003, the list has helped expose employers who use degrading or forced labor practices, providing civil society and the market with information about those who violate labor rights. Many companies and financial institutions use the list as a criterion for deciding with whom to do business, making it a powerful deterrent against labor exploitation. Responsibility in agribusiness. Agribusiness is one of the most important sectors of the Brazilian economy, but it is also where many cases of slavery-like labor are found, especially in remote areas where inspections are more difficult. Fazenda Talimã, owned by Leonardo, is a typical large rural property where part of the land is often leased to third parties. In these cases, there is a separation between the landowner and the labor administrator, which can result in situations where labor conditions escape the owner's control. However, this does not exempt the landowner from legal responsibility.